Right before a holiday, a long holiday weekend, we expected them to dump some stuff. And friends, when you sift through the documents and you sift through all the court stuff that got dumped out on Friday, there's a gem. There's a gem that will make you shake your head in fury and just astonishment. Raytheon, or now RTX, the company that makes missiles and aircraft and fighter jets, bombers, all sorts of highly top secret information. Turns out they've leaked a few things. Over the last number of years, since 2017, they've managed to have 750 violations of the Arms Export Control Act. And when you hear some of these violations, you're going to go, that wasn't an accident. How do you do that? And some of them that sound like an accident, you're just going to be like, how stupid can you be? Because this is just absolutely crazy. We got a lot to talk about. Let's jump right into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and I hope you guys are having a good Labor Day weekend. Or if you're watching this later, hopefully you did have one. So, Raytheon got slapped on the wrist, $200 million fine. Now, at first you may say that sounds like more than a slap on the wrist. But when I tell you that the Department of State has suspended half of it just because, why wouldn't they, right? And when I tell you the simple fact that many of the people in government, like, I don't know, the defense secretary happens to own Raytheon stock. And if you're like, that sounds like corruption, you'd be right. But, I mean, when did Washington, D.C. swamp creatures ever let a little bit of corruption stand in the way of them making big, big bucks? Getting lots of kickbacks, and there's a nice plush job at Raytheon for Secretary Austin when he gets done for President Biden. So if he doesn't get put in the White House next time around, he's probably going to go over and be CEO or some posh position over at Raytheon because they're getting a sweetheart deal here. Like I said, 750 violations of the Arms Export Control Act. Now, were these just mere technicalities? Well, they leaked highly classified weapons secrets to Russia, Iran, Lebanon, and China. Okay, so maybe not. Laptops with classified info on the F-15, the F-18, F-22, F-35, and the B-2 stealth bomber. They took these classified laptops with classified documents on them to, now just listen to this, they took it to Lebanon, took it to Russia, they took them to Iran. Now, if you're just asking yourself the question, what in the world were employees of Raytheon doing in Russia is a legitimate question. But, there may be reasons. But Iran? What were these people from Raytheon doing in Iran? And they're like, why don't I take my classified laptop with all the classified documents on it, why don't I take that over to Iran so I can maybe work from home on a vacation or something? Because, haven't you vacationed in Iran before? I mean, if you're a female, make sure you're wearing your burqa. Absolutely crazy. But it gets better. Let me read this just a little short bit and then we'll unpack it. Numerous illicit direct commercial sales. Sales? To who? Including unauthorized exports of defense articles resulting from the failure to establish proper jurisdiction and classification. Let me put that in English. They sold classified and controlled missile systems and weapon systems to people who turned out to not be the people they thought they were. They sold those things to spies from the wrong country. Oopsie, oopsie. Sold them to China, Russia, and Iran because they couldn't establish proper jurisdiction and classification. Now, like I said, this whole thing, this whole paper, one, is dropped right before Labor Day weekend so that you won't ever read the stupid thing. And two, it's written in such jargon and legalese so as to obfuscate, to hide, to sweep under the rug the ridiculous, absolute treasonous things that have been done in the last 7 years, friends. In the last 7 years, 750 violations, which, according to my math, is a little over 100 violations per year. And when we see these things like, oopsie, we sold a fighter jet to the wrong country, oopsie, we sent classified components for F-35s to someone we thought was from country X, which we're allowed to export because they have the F-35, and we accidentally sold it to someone who represents China. You see how that's kind of a bit of a problem? And then when you have to ask the question, was that really an oopsie or was that somebody getting paid under the table? Because commercial sales, illicit direct commercial sales, and that's sales they knew they shouldn't do. They were direct, and yet they were illicit. They were illegal. They shouldn't have done that. Now, when we talk about all the different fighter jets, the B-2 bomber, and we're talking about the SM-3 and the SM-6 missiles, the interceptors, I don't think we want to have one of these interceptor missiles in the hands, or even the technical specifications for them. How fast can they turn? How fast can they go? How far can they go? What altitude can they go to? At what altitude do they start losing maneuverability? These would be all technical specifications which should be ultra top secret classified. But morons with them on their laptops were literally going and visiting Iran and visiting Russia. They sold classified and restricted tech to, just to name a few of the countries, China, Russia, Lebanon, and Iran. They sold it to Iran. And this isn't, once again, this is not distance past. This is between Donald Trump getting into office and today. That's the time period we're talking about here. Okay? Now, this is Raytheon. This is not the Defense Department. This is not political necessarily. This is a company that's just out there with its finger in every single classified project that we have, just out there oopsieing 750 times, accidentally selling our tech to all these different countries. Is China really stealing our tech, or is Raytheon just giving it to them? That's a question that should be asked. And another question should be, Defense Secretary Austin owning RTX stock. Is that, or is that not, making him part of the fraud? Other government agents who are invested in the stock price of the company, and yet watching as they go do these things. So, of these 750 violations, including people taking classified documents to Iran and Russia and China, how many people are going to jail? Now, you already know the answer to that one. Nobody goes to jail. Well, isn't that convenient? Well, Raytheon is certainly losing a bunch of its classified type top secret contracts, right? Because they can't be trusted anymore. Oh, wrong again. Wrong again. They're not losing a single contract. They have to pay $200 million, which is a splash in the bucket for them. And the U.S. Department of State's like, well, that's a little too, that's just too much for a rich corporation to pay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it in half so that they only have to pay $100 million as long as the other $100 million is used for things like strengthening your not selling secrets, missile secrets, and fighter jet secrets to China. Now, I would hope that you could implement some policies along the lines that, hey, everyone, don't sell secrets to Russia and China. Top secret laptops should stay inside the country at all times. That makes sense. Maybe we're okay taking it to certain countries that are on a green list, like the UK. Though, with what's going on over in the UK, probably shouldn't take stuff over there. Probably get stabbed and, bad stuff. Maybe Australia, but, might get eaten by one of the animals there. I don't know. But all this to say, Iran should probably not be on the list of places that you can take a summer vacation and work from the beach on. No jail for anybody. No lost contracts. And a slap on the wrist of $100 million, and they have to do $100 million of community service where they have to justify that they've spent $100 million on security, which they were already supposed to do in the first place. So they now have to spend money on things that they're already spending money on. Hence, security. So any secure laptops count towards that $100 million. Stuff that they already bought anyway. Absolutely insane. If you're not furious about that, I don't know what will make you furious, but $200 million slap on the wrist, only have to pay $100 million of it. Someone goes out there and leaks intentionally the secret documents from the Pentagon, and they're public enemy number one. Look at what Julian Assange went through. If he only had been fined $100 million and that was it, that would have been light compared to what they put him through. They practically tortured him to death. Not to mention all these other guys that got jailed for doing matters of conscience. And then you have the Raytheon contractors out there selling secrets to China and Russia. I don't know. Maybe they got Fang Fang coming after them. Just like our esteemed congressman. So, what's going to happen next? Well, let's just say the only people who don't know the capabilities of the United States aircraft are Americans. American citizens and people within the Defense Department who aren't cleared at that security level. Every other country out there in the world knows exactly what our military tech can do. And they probably have parts sitting on and they may even have bought a whole F-18 or a whole F-22 or F-35. I know F-22s are not supposed to let that information out, and they don't sell them to even our closest allies. But somehow, Russia, Iran, and Lebanon got their hands on F-22 specs and technical details. Somehow. It's amazing how that works. All right, friends. I don't know what to tell you. Keep on plugging on. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day. And we'll keep you up to date on things that happen, even when they drop them on Friday, right before a long holiday weekend. All right, friends. God bless you all. Until I see you guys again, if you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you later. Steve Poplar, The Poplar Report.